So yes, I welcome Anna Varava. For those who don't know, Anna is ex-chief officer of Officiel. She was for 15 years in Officiel Ukraine. Then she moved to Austria, where she was also chief officer for Officiel for 1 year. And now she is a brand consultant for fashion brands. So she helps fashion brands to establish their brand image, to build a brand in media. She works with press, she works with social media, and she basically helps you to transform your brand image and to make it more marketable. So you can find your audience and you can build your brand image with the right audience. So she works on brand image, she works on press, where you can establish your brand in press and where you can establish your brand with influencers and with social media. So I want you to meet Anna because her experience, like, wow, she was in every country of the world. She was living, she was working there, and her fashion background is huge. So first of all, like someone who worked for press for her whole life, and someone who worked for many different aspects of fashion design. She was working a lot with emerging designers, helping them to grow, to establish their brands. And she has a lot of areas of interaction. So basically, I let Anna present herself, all her professional journey, and then she will go more deeper into the aspect of brand building. How can you build your brand today, knowing that maybe press is not that efficient today? You need to be more on social media, but how can you use social media? Like, what are the modern tools that you can use to build your brand, basically? So I let Anna talk about her expertise and talk about any examples that she can show you, and then you can have a personal time with her, so you can ask your questions, so you can build together whatever like questions you have, strategy about your brand, whatever questions you have, just use this time for you and ask those questions. So Anna, it's your turn.
Thank you, Inga, for the introduction. Once again, I'm very happy to be here. Actually, I really love to share my knowledge and experience, and it's really huge. I lived in 8 countries. I worked in many countries. I visited like 67. So I'm also interested like how fashion operates in different countries, and it's really different. That's why I asked you where your brands are based, or maybe if you can also add some things like what's your target market, or if you are targeted on your domestic market, or you would like to go like in Europe or China, I mean Asia, yeah, or it's America, because it's really different things. So a little bit about me. Wait, okay, that's it. So just a few things. I have 3 MAs. The first one is a cultural diplomat, but I mostly use it as fashion diplomat. So it's like by the means of fashion, you can establish ties in between countries, how you connect in this field, and how by means of fashion, and you build trust in between countries, and then you do business, and then you do diplomacy, policy, and so on. I'm also a image maker psychologist. It's when you can create your own image and the image for your brand, and it correlates with your personality and your psychological features, so you feel comfortable in what you wear, and it's the best way to represent like who are you. So people, without even talking to you, they can see how you look like, and you like or not, or they understand where you work, what's unique about you, and so on. I was the first, like my career, let's say, started with Officiel when I was 21 years old. I was with Officiel for 15 years in Ukraine, and then I launched it in Austria. So it's like a brand, but a big brand, media brand, working on different markets. And of course, I have this experience working on different markets with different people, and it's completely like different strategy. And I will tell you a little bit more later on. So this briefly my professional experience. Yeah, I worked also with the ministries because it's cultural diplomacy, and I did cultural and fashion diplomatic projects all around Europe, in between Ukraine and Europe, for instance, or in US as well. I was editor-in-chief, as I mentioned, creative directors. So that's a little bit like I was involved also in the whole brand promotion. And I will also tell you a little bit like Officiel is also a brand. So how you can develop the brand on a certain market. It's not just you have a magazine and then you I don't know, and then you just function and that's all. No, you understand what your target audience wants. If they want events, for instance, they want educational seminars, you have to do that, and that's what I did. I mean, it was my idea, but at the end it was very useful, and now the brand is known and more known, let's say. Yeah, and it was bought actually by all this means it was bought globally by a Chinese company now, so it was attractive in terms of business after, because we know all the media, a lot of media are dying or they're closing or so on, and it's very competitive and it's very hard to function now for printed magazine as well. So I produced more than 100 fashion covers, more than 15 years of experience, 2 years in cultural diplomacy, 3 MAs. I also wrote academic papers in fashion. Yeah, and I studied in Kiev, Moscow, London, Milan, Paris, New York, Berlin, Los Angeles, and Vienna. That's a little bit about my clients and talents. So I worked with, of course, I did projects with all high-end fashion brands, luxury brands, and lifestyle brands around the world for all these 15 years. I also organized haute couture fashion shows in Ukraine and also in Vienna in Austria. That was the first one. I don't know if it will be any other one. Yeah, I worked with top celebrities, models, and did really like big projects. So it's briefly about myself, and let's get down to our topic. So let's I want to tell you a little bit, if you know, there is a difference between a brand, a company, and a trademark. So fashion brand combines symbolism, style, and experimental elements, and it needs to differentiate its product and coordinate its supply chain to succeed in the market. Luxury fashion brands aim to inspire desiring fashion-savvy customers who understand that the right clothes and shoes or accessories can enhance their natural beauty, create a specific aesthetic, and establish carefully curated status. So we can see a lot of things like mentioned here. If you have a brand, it's very deeply associated with certain emotions in mind of your customers, and they also, why they buy your brand, because they look beautiful in this, or it's a status for them, or they like some aesthetics that your brand bring in their life. And first, but mostly it's the emotion. So brand is all about emotions. If you can, let's say it's not about even fashion brand, but for instance, if you take Apple, it's also a bit fashion, yeah, because it's like you see people in fashion and everyone with Apple. Why they don't use really like a lot? Why they don't use any other phone? It's not. It's just no one explains that, but it's like your status, your feeling, your emotion about this brand. Oh, wait. Yes, and there is two notions, like brand and trademark, and we can see here a comparison table to understand like which are characteristics of brand and trademark. First of all, brand is the name that relates to products and services offered by a company which evokes positive image and emotions to the customer. So first of all, it's image and emotions. What your brand is associated with, it's a little bit subconscious. So when you become a brand, your customers will just go to your shop and buy it, or I don't know, go online and buy it. Or if you say, okay, I need this, I don't know, I need this jacket. And your jacket will appear firstly in the mind of your customer. So that's your goal, to establish this emotional connection and to make your customers like you. Trademark is just a registered trade or brand name, logo, color, sound, slogan, which is identified with your company or services and products. Legal protection is this brand has legal protection against use of other people, and trademark has also legal protection. Not all the brands are trademarks, but all trademarks are brands. So it's a little bit complicated, but we need to understand the brand attributes include, first of all, brand personality. It's what is that? Like, which personality is your brand? Which image it's associated with? Culture, brand identity, brand image, brand character, reputation, and essence. More or less, a person can be a brand as well. So fashion company can a brand, not a company, like fashion line or your brand can be a brand. And everyone understands what is personality, what's your culture, what's the identity, which image, and what's your character. It can be very romantic brand, right? It can be very conservative or formal or non-conformist or whatever, yeah? And which reputation do you have? It's also very important how you work, what your clients tell about you, and that's your reputation. If they like you or not. For instance, like if you remember what happened with Dolce & Gabbana, how they ruined their reputation a few years ago with this marketing campaign, I guess, with Chinese slogan or something, on Chinese market. And for more than 3 years, they couldn't get back to their sales, to their good reputation. And only now, when they created and when they reoriented on haute couture, alta moda, and when they figure out a new strategy, they're bringing back their image, their sales, people awareness, like people liking them, and so on. So brands are also connected to services which your company provide along with products. So you can say, like if you go, for instance, to Hermes, you don't know the products, but everyone knows these orange bags. Zara is the same, yeah? They didn't have any marketing campaigns. They didn't make any advertisement, but everyone knows their bags. So it's also a part of services that they provide. Yeah, we can say it's a logo. We can say it's like packaging or whatever, but it also includes the services. And for instance, if you go to Zara, you can see that every day they have different visual merchandising. So they change it every day. It's also their services. And that's why they're different from others. And every time people come to shop, it looks like a new shop. They can't find this. If you go today and you go tomorrow, you can't find in the same place the garments you're looking for. They are on different places and they change a little bit these things. So it's also a part of their these are the most expensive clothing brands in the world. You can see, and for instance, like you see the brand, you understand what's that, right? Or Brunello Cucinelli, you can see a texture and you understand, okay, which brand is that? Or you can see Rose, all in Rose, and it reminds you about Valentino and so on. So which are these most expensive brands? And I will explain why I mentioned the brand and why the brand can become expensive. If we talk about business, so you launch your business, you launch your brand, and your goal, of course, of every business is to make money, to be successful, and so on. So your idea is to develop your company, maybe to put it later on IPO or whatever, or sell it after to investment company or to one investor or to others, and and maybe launch another company. So your goal is to develop your company and to make most profit as possible. We can see that that's 26 most expensive brands, and they were all founded in different 20th century, but different ages. The first one is the most expensive is Louis Vuitton, then Dior, Versace, Chanel, Prada. And we all know these brands. We all, in our mind, in our associations, we know all of them, what they are about, if we are not the customers of them, right? So that's the whole brand history. That's the whole strategy, how they get into customers' minds, and even not customers, but people, minds who even don't buy this brand directly, but they know about them. So it's also a brand value. And that is later on when you estimate the brand, how much does it cost to sell it later on. So it's all a lot of things that are around and influence that price or estimation. Brand, as for the brand value in 2023, we see like on the first place it's Porsche, then Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and among this lifestyle brand, there are a lot of fashion brands. Even now, if you watched, or I'm sure you know about Barbie movie, a lot of fashion brands are also integrated there, and a lot of lifestyle integrated there. And it's the goal to reach as much customers, as much audience of different level, of different age groups, by means of movies that can be watched by mothers, daughters, the whole family, and so on, of people of different generations around the world. So the brand value, the most valuable brands in 2023, Porsche, then we go with Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Gucci, Hermes, Dior, Cartier, Rolex, and you see how many, it's just fashion and cars, most of them. Some is Omega watches, and that's it. Most of them are fashion. So fashion is business where you can have one of the biggest brands from one of the biggest value added, and I will tell later. So why do you need to become a brand? I already mentioned a little bit, but first of all, it's long-term perspective of business development. Whatever happens in the world, people know you, any crisis, anything, whatever, but people have a trust, your customers have trust to you, they believe, they like you, and that's why they can maintain your business, let's say, for a long term. Guarantee and loyalty of customers, returned ones, or business sustainability. So they are your guarantee. If you're a brand, you have more loyal customers, they return to you often, they buy from you, they like it, and so on. Added value, when you can increase your margin, and of course, this is profitability. And you can see that a lot of brands now, they tend to go upscale. They, I just mentioned Dolce & Gabbana, from being Dolce & Gabbana premium, then they have the second line, and so on. Now the focus is mostly on Alta Roma, so Alta Moda. This is haute couture, this is high-end level, when they can have more value added and they can sell less, but for more expensive prices, and actually the profit will be better for them and less work maybe. Then you can get investment as brands live longer. So you can guarantee to your investors that you have returned customers, and the customer will come to you more and more. So that the life of your brand will long, and it also gives you some guarantees, if you want to get investment for your brand. And the investors basically look at that, and they see what's the feedback, why customers like you, and so on. Go to IPO when you make your company public one, and of course, it's also you can get investments by that means. And if you want to sell your brand in, I don't know, 2, 5, 10, whatever years, I just work for the company. In Germany, it's what a fine jewelry brand. So it was 30 years on the market. It was established, I believe, like most of you, was established by one person who had an idea, who created some jewelries, who liked that. And then after, in 30 years, she just wanted to sell it. And she sold the company, and she get money and just do other things. So that's why you need to create this brand. Let's talk a little bit about value added. What is that, and why it's that big in fashion, and what you can do with that. So value added is the difference between the price of a product or service and the cost of producing it. The price is determined by what customers are willing to pay based on their perceived value. I'm sure you know all this phenomenon, Balenciaga, Crocs, and so on. And I guess this is amazing example how you can have this big margin out of nothing. Of course, it's a great strategy. Besides that, but let's see in details. Balenciaga can target not only the general population, but also millennials in particular. As 60% of Balenciaga target consumers are millennials, it is the brand's highest interest to make use of all relevant tools. So they of course, they made a marketing research. They understood who are their customers and whom they want to target, what they like. They want to be non-conformists. They're young. They have money. They play games. They make money in crypto. They are in metaverse and so on. That's why they made their strategy in that direction. And Balenciaga places a strong emphasis on footwear, targeting millennials and Generation Z heavily. So you can see how much is the like the price for their Crocs, how much normal Crocs, or the basic one cost, and how much like simple Balenciaga Crocs and more fashionable one Crocs. A pair of Crocs require approximately $9 to manufacture. Meanwhile, the selling price is about $22, making the margin almost 13%. It's for Crocs, but for Balenciaga ones, you can estimate by yourself how much is that, right? So it's more than 300 as normal. Yeah, and that's why they do a lot for their strategic development, for their marketing, for these unusual strategies to be able to sell this. By the way, maybe it's ridiculous, yeah, to see 1,000 for, I don't know, for Crocs, but they sell it, and we can't say anything against it because they sell it. So it means they have this audience, they have their client, and their client are very loyal, and they will buy whatever from this brand. Design, quality, flexibility, durability, can last for many years, comfortability, easy of maintenance, suit different age groups, body complexity, and unisex. Why they took Crocs? Because, like for any generation, if you are young, 60, 50, 40, 30, 14, whatever, you can buy these Crocs and you can be fashionable, let's say this, yeah? And why it can be expensive? Because the quality is great, the design is great. It can last for not 1 year, but some years. Different age groups. It's not in terms of design. Any type of fit. Yeah, any can be suitable. Yeah, maybe it looks ugly for someone, but at the end, yeah, they sell it. So that's one of example. I'm just moving, you guys, because I don't see with your faces the whole screen. That's why I'm a little bit moving. So core elements a brand needs to have. There is a little bit triangle. You can see the brand in the center, and like 3 angles: performance, promise, and positioning. There are 3 core elements of a brand, these ones. How well these elements are defined, planned, and executed. You need to understand how well they are executed in your brand. First of all is promise. Core message you want to emphasize. What do you deliver? What's the message of your business? What's the promise you give to your customers? Positioning strategy and channels all your sources in the right direction to build your brand. promise. What's unique offering, and who are your customers, and what's unique about your brand. So this is very important. Positioning, what's the category of your brand, and ways to communicate with your target audience. I just mentioned very briefly, but this Hermes and Zara, different positioning, but very wise one, because one is a mass market brand, and the another one is very exclusive high-end brand. But still they try, and Zara, by means of using these ways of communication to their audience, they try to show and give their customers a feeling that it's a fashion brand, and they wear something expensive or unique or something fashionable. So how will you communicate to your brand promise? How you communicate with your brand? Which means do you use? Do you make any events where your customers come? Is that a cocktail, or you don't have any advertisement, or you go to press and you advertise in high-end fashion or business or lifestyle press? Or you develop your Instagram, or like Balenciaga, you don't develop it, you just put looks, and the next day you just delete all of them. It's all about strategy and the ways who are your customers, and how you bring a message to them. And the third one is performance. How will you deliver your brand promise? A consistent and reliable brand performance builds trust, and trust leads to brand preference and advocacy. If it's positive, people buy from it. So if people like your performance, I mentioned Balenciaga, doesn't matter, but if you like it, they buy it. They like maybe that it's unusual, and they want to be in the cast of these unusual people. They want to be associated with no conformist, free, crazy people. And they go and buy it, because then you don't need to explain. You just look like that, and and you're satisfied. Media value. Okay, that's also an interesting topic when you understand how you want to develop your brand. And media nowadays is very important because it's very fast, and you can see everything online. Before it was printed media, most of it was radio, it was TV. Now it's about sometimes printed media, a lot by Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. It depends which countries we work or we target to work with. For instance, like if I also noticed that if in Ukraine, Russia, these countries, Russian-speaking countries, a lot just sell by Instagram. It's not possible in Germany, for instance, or in German-speaking countries, because it's not that popular. People don't want to show their life. That's why you need to customize your communication tools, and you understand who are your target audience, where do they live, what's their lifestyle, and how you want to approach them. And let's talk a little bit about this brand value. Before you all know H&M, it's also a very mass market brand, but they have a very good strategy in connection to high-end fashion, and to luxury fashion. So H&M is looking to boost sales after reports stated that its operating profit for the quarter concluding in November of last year declined to 79 million, down to 603 million the year prior, according to Business of Fashion. So they dropped. Their sales were not satisfying at all, and they need to do something about that. And they used the right channels and voices for their campaign, and that actually helped them to perform better. So they launched this H&M and cooperation with Mugler, H&M and Mugler, because Mugler is the boost the last year. And now if you want to target another audience, you have to, to work with the brand that was very famous and very trendy last year. So you can see here what's their media value and how they made it. 21 million, 33 million. They just 1 million. They just took the right channels. They were also in magazines. So you can see here Glamour. Yeah, they have social media dominated with all their campaigns, and they boost sales a lot by their right strategy, by their just right media strategy. That's all. And of course,
Anna,
they didn't.
sorry. Can you just precise what is media value for
Yeah.
others?
I just put here, if you see Launch Metrics, it's the company that actually estimate this media value. So I don't know, but which means it's their tools, but they can count media value of any campaign, of any brand that performed for a certain period of time. For instance, they can estimate media value for the brands which were worn during Cannes Film Festival. Yeah, how much they got by this. How much is that media value? So if you give your dress to this celebrity, what that will bring to you? Of course, they estimate it after, not before, or they just see the experience. And that's they can also estimate this media value for campaigns, for social media campaigns, for instance, like here. Yeah, it's a social media and printed media campaigns. Yeah. Very important to understand also about brand. What is brand's DNA? To start with, you have to know what's your background, what's the story behind your brand, what do you want to communicate. Even if there is no story, you have to develop it, or you have to make it happen. Yeah, even if you just made your brand and you don't have the story like Gucci has with all the family that they can put in movies, in film, and tell about their families and all the gossips and so. But you have to this background you have to create. Price point, what sets you apart from others if you provide the same goods? Yeah, what differs you? For instance, yeah, you have, I will come back maybe a lot today, but for instance, Zara. What differs you from this mass market brand? Why? Yeah, of course, that's it's your designer's brand, but still in the mind of your consumers, they need to understand why you're more expensive and why your goods is better. Community involvement also, if your brand contribute to a local or regional level to its surrounding community. Also, I saw, as you put in the chats today, some, I don't know a lot or not, but some mention sustainability. So this is also a trend today, to be sustainable in what you do, in your production, in your business. They put a lot of attention if the brand is sustainable, and if you want to go to some chains or work with wholesalers, what is your community involvement? Maybe you help some organizations, maybe you do some charity, or maybe you help oceans or whatever. What's your target market? Is it a niche market? Is it wider audience, mainstream, and so on? You have to understand really what's your target market, where is that, what's the profile of your customers, where do they live, what's their lifestyle, and so on. That all will help you to build your story, to build the brand, let's say, universe, as it's called. And the main idea, when the person comes to you, they understand what's your universe, what's your life. Yeah, like it's like a life organism. A brand is like a personality. When you come at home to your friends, you understand how do they live. It's a little bit the same with the brand. And of course, quality. A brand can market itself, offering better value or better quality products, give a promise that you use better materials and it lasts twice as long, for instance. Yeah, if you say this latest new materials, we produce it there, it's not in China, you will wear it for 2-3 seasons, so it's already sustainable and it's already good quality, and this is a great promise for your customers. I mentioned a little bit about Brands Universe, and I would like to show you what's that and how attractive and how emotional is that. What do you know about your brand? Like your first associations, yeah? Like about this brand, yeah? What's the first associations? So it's footwear, yeah. This is shoes. Roger Vivier is shoes. So what they created a whole brand universe. It was out of fashion a little bit, and actually I put a live picture. I was there at this exhibition. That's me on the picture as well, just to show you how it's really emotional, how it's really alive, why people come there. And it was like a cabaret. So Roger Vivier was associated, it was born, the brand was established or born in France in 1930. It's a footwear or women's wear, and there was great association with Moulin Rouge, so with cabaret. And now it was a few years ago, but they 2021. So they created this brand universe, and they showed what's their brand about. Of course, it's shoes, but it's not just shoes. They created the whole story around it and made them so emotional that when you visited it after that, you remember it. I mean, you remember it for, I don't know, for a long time. And then you remember, okay, what's Roger Vivier? Oh yeah, they had this great performance. So it's also part of brand strategy and which emotions the brand bring to their customers, not like just selling goods, but it's a little bit more, you know, what you can do with your brand here and which strategy. It's the next, wait, yeah, it's the next one. Yeah, to understand what's your target market. It's just very recent. Alta Moda just took place. Louis Vuitton fashion show, men's one, just took place. So I mentioned a little bit about this scandal with Dolce & Gabbana on the Asian market that's put the brand down for 3 years. Yeah, and they couldn't figure out for these 3 years the new strategy. They tried a lot of things, but they didn't work. So they just made this Dolce & Gabbana Chao Kim and tried to revive after scandal in this 2018. You can also see, unfortunately, you will have the presentation to see the video. What was if you didn't see it yet, it's amazing to see the Alta Moda fashion show in Puglia. It's just like you're in another universe. You just came there and you understand it's Italy, it's the best from Italy, it's all couture, it's all beautiful. So this is the whole brand strategy. Alta Moda Puglia, you can see Kim Kardashian, with whom they had this cooperation, and like she designed some dresses. We don't know, but they say it's designed. Then they took Matt and Marcus. You see campaign by Matt and Marcus and the face of Kim Kardashian. And they did the whole story about that. So they brought her and her family and all the stars to Italy, to Puglia, and made this event for 3 or 4 days. And from the right side, you can see the latest menswear Louis Vuitton fashion show by Pharrell Williams. And you can see just a few guests who attended: Naomi Campbell, Kardashian, Rihanna with her husband, Beyonce, Jay-Z. And you just can imagine what's the media value of just one show it was. Yeah, to understand what's the social media coverage of all these people. Like Kim Kardashian has more than 300 million followers. Yeah, Naomi, Rihanna, almost the same. Jay-Z and Beyonce, yeah, it's the same. They are very trendy faces now in all the fashion, music field. And here, yeah, this is an example of this successful fashion brand like Dolce & Gabbana, what they did. A little bit like how it looked like, you can see on the YouTube, in YouTube in the video, and they highlighted Italian DNA. I'm sure that it's what is called fashion or cultural diplomacy, when they work with the country and you represent as a brand, as Dolce & Gabbana, you represent the country. So this is direct association with Italy. You can't say, yeah, you understand Dolce & Gabbana, Italy, Puglia, alta moda, yeah, haute couture, celebrities, and then it's all in your mind, or all this, it evokes all the emotions and all the associations like that. Oh, wait. Yes, this one. And the media value, I just tried a little bit to understand. You can see it just some guests for this show. You can see how many followers have every one of them. Yeah, 52 million, 1 million, 362 million, and so on. So for this show, they invited all the guests from around the world, top celebrities, so these people can spread the information all around the world about Dolce & Gabbana fashion show, event, clothes, and how great it was. You have to, also you have to consider, wait, what's up? Sorry. Yeah, you have to consider a little bit also fashion trends when you work with your brand. Industry executives view sustainability 16%, agility 13%, and brand differentiation 12%, which reflect the desires and values of young customers, is the biggest opportunity for fashion in 2023. They made McKinsey, yeah, they every year or 2 times per year they made a big research where they give trends of the industry and help the brands to develop themselves and to know which are the trends and which direction they better move. So your brand have to be, or it's good if it is eco-friendly. And you use eco-conscious materials that reduce waste and pollution. We all about now like helping our earth, and we take care about ocean and so on. So if you use that or mention that, it's very important, and it will give you a big plus. Sustainability, when you use more sustainable materials and production methods. Diversity, human rights. Diversity is also everywhere. If you say I work with just some hints, for the strategy, when I say, okay, in my brand I work with people from, I don't know, around the world, or from we have some African people from Africa, yeah, we'll help them. It's also how you can build your strategy, or how you can make how you can enhance or increase your value added to your brand. Technology, it's also good to use. I mean, technology is everywhere: 3D printing, virtual reality, blockchain, AI, augmented reality that provides a real-world experience. It allows customer to visualize how clothes and accessories would look on them without physically trying them on. And personalization. Yeah, if you work and you sell online, this is very important. The customers, a lot cost, that to return your item, it costs a lot. It also damage nature. So we would like to decrease returns, value amount, yeah. And if you use more technology, it would be better, and you can say, okay, that's my brand is more sustainable because, for instance, we use this virtual showroom, yeah, or virtual trying system. I talk a lot, a little bit. It's about the brand, and it's a case study. I can talk a lot about other brands, but let's talk a little bit. The brand I worked with, it is in Germany. It's a very fresh case. So this is a fine jewelry brand that wanted to be upscale and wanted to change their strategy. So the brand was established 20 years ago in Munich, in Germany, in 1992. It's about effortless luxury and new hippie. So you can see some of the items, what's the image, what the campaign was about. And from the right side, you can see if you put Google search of the brand, you can see who or what appears first. Yeah, it's just, we have it. Then we have the communication strategy, and then we need to develop the whole brand. So we can notice here that the brand is associated with a certain person. It's a designer of the brand, and the brand is named after her. So that was her strategy. But then the brand was sold to another company, and our mission and our task was to make the brand upscale and, of course, more sales. But that became difficult. First of all, difficulties appear because, first of all, the brand associated with the personality, and all the communication strategy for many years before were built around a person. And now we are more like the industrial brand without any face, and that's a different strategy. Also, they worked, it's just what they had, or just a very fresh case study, so you understand not in theory but in practice what brands do. It's it's not a big one, but the brand is sold in DACH area, has own boutiques, and also in USA. So we need to understand there's different strategies on different markets. They worked with German influencers. For what? Of course, to represent the brand and to increase sales. Actually, this is Vicky Rader. She's very well known in Germany, an influencer, and she has a lot of followers, 596K followers, and you can see how the brand looked on her. And also another one, Fizun Lindner. If anyone from Germany, maybe they know this women, and she's also like a top influencers over there, and she also represented their brand. So I'm just wondering, and of course I would like to hear your feedback. What do you think, if there were any results, even if these influencers are more than 500,000? Did it bring anything to the brand? That's a big question. I mean, I know I am annoying and I'm professional.
So we have Julia here, who is from Germany. She may say something.
Maybe she can give her opinion or feedback if she knows the brand or if she knows these influencers.
I definitely know these influencers. I've actually aspired that she would be my influencer at some point of time, but I have a feeling that they just cost a lot and don't bring results. Maybe I'm biased.
Okay, it depends which brand you work with. You need to understand, but for this particular brand, no results at all. Why? Because they don't correspond. For instance, Wiki is super trendy for the brand I mentioned, and their target audience, it doesn't match at all. Fizun as well, they try to make it because she has kids and so on, but the audience and their target audience of the brand, of Tamara Komoli, they don't understand these influencers. It's not their idols.
I think they're way too young for them. No, I had a feeling that they're way too young. Vicky, they're way too young.
And also young. Yeah, that's true. And just a small hint, as I mentioned, I'm a bit annoying and professional. So I wanted to check all these influencers, and There are special programs, they cost a lot, they have special programs, and you can check if these influencers have fake followers or where they are from and so on, because the statistic they give to you, it's not real. In many cases, what is written is not that. So when you invest money and it costs really a lot to work with them, and you want a return of your investment on that, and then when you just get zero, it's a little bit disappointing, let's say. Yeah. And then I checked this. Wiki is okay, but for instance, we checked Zoom, and sorry, but it was a lot of fake followers and not corresponding, the target audience, the target market, and so on. So it's better if you work with professionals, you save your money, time, and you get better results. And this, so a little bit, oh, wait.
So Anna,
it was
maybe you
like
can
this.
tell us a little bit how we can, as small brands, work with all those people, what we have like as tools today, if we don't have a lot of investment to make those kind of placements. What do you advise?
So I will just tell a little bit what I did after. I analyzed the situation with the brand at the first step, to know like where we move, what's the strategy, and then analyze where your brand is. So just to understand the route, that just to understand this path, I will tell just a little bit. So our task for this brand, it's not a big brand, it's a middle. Really, it's not a big. I think you have most of you maybe have the same size of the company, or maybe a little bit smaller, but still it can be a good example. So the task was to bring up scale. The brand, less budget spent, higher price point, and 2 markets, TAC and USA. So by means of course, it's connections with press. Of course, it's right placement, working with right product placement, which doesn't cost a lot, but it's very pointed ones. You can work with press, because if you and with high-end titles. For instance, we took in Germany. We worked with Official Liechtenstein and some of the Nicole Ricci. She represented the brand in the magazine, so it's luxury positioning, and actually it corresponded to the target audience. Also, it was a product placement with celebrities like Kate Hudson or Christina Aguilera. Also, we had some shootings with Inside Quarterly magazine. It's by Richard Hoff magazine. So just when you understand what's your target audience, you can then figure out the strategy, how to approach them, what to do with them without spending huge budget on that. It's every time it's very targeted ones. Media. Yes, and the question, of course, is if media is still popular tool. Why you need to work with printed media? Mostly if you want to bring an image, a good image for your brand, or for instance, sometimes if you want to, not sometimes, in many cases, if you want to work with buyers, you want to expand your brand, you want to go to wholesalers, and buyers come to you, they ask about publications, about fashion shows that you participated in, about fashion events, what's your coverage in printed media, what's your coverage online. So here you can see that it still works. Even Victoria Beckham goes to, if British Vogue writes about Victoria Beckham and her line, it makes sense. And then I put some Ukrainian designer. It's not a huge one, it's not big investment, but by means what she did, she created just a party wear brand, and you see she's now in Vogue business, and this is a great status. And of course, after all, this wholesalers or buyers, they would like to work with her. Or, for instance, Ruslan Baginsky, you know, the head brand, yeah, also from Ukraine. He had no investment at all. He did everything by himself, and by means of connections, by means of right product placement, of right strategy, very targeted ones, that he aimed only on models. And he wanted to place his caps only on models and celebrities. That's it. And he step by step, he went, and now he's doing some collaborations, some very famous collaborations with whom? Dries Lachsan. Yeah. Anyway, he's also in Vogue business. Yeah, and people know about that. So you need people need to be aware of your brand. Yeah, and which means you can choose. There are a lot of means that you can choose to promote your brand. Or, for instance, in this flare, yeah, you can see Ukrainian designer Vitakin. It's Ukrainian designer who made a collaboration with Gucci, and her brand was sold this collaboration, I don't know, in 2 or 3 days. It just gone. And yeah, how they did it? Just the right strategy, just understanding where you go, what do you want to do, and which are your customers, and which what is your brand about. This is an example of Ruslan Baginsky I mentioned. Yeah, it's a Lviv brand, it's a Western Ukraine brand, a small one without any investment. 2 guys that wanted to create these hats, and they put it literally everywhere around the world, and they are brand stock list now. You can see that's the main retailers or online retailers. Yeah, Matches Fashion, Arden Nichols, My Teresa, and Madonna, Bella Hadid, Sheikh, everyone was in his, and still in his hats. Yes. So just a little bit, yes, how I can help maybe, or what I do. As I mentioned, I'm in the fashion media industry for many years already, and I do fashion business consultant, media business consultant, and actually brand building. So how to bring your brand, how to build your brand, what need to be unique without a brand. I can help to establish this right strategy, to understand your needs, which market you want to work with, analyze your business first of all. Yeah, like it was with Tamara Komoli. First of all, you need to analyze what's your business, what it was done before, what's your target now, which market you want to work with, what's your marketing and PR strategy. And normally, I mean, it doesn't need a super huge investment. It just needs to be very pointed, very targeted, and kind of wise one. I will provide also the ways of most effective business strategy for target market, understand what's your target market, what's a roadmap of business develop, can help to create and build your brand's unique DNA, also including all the trends, all the industry trends, and understand who are your competitors, and how you can be unique with them, yeah, or how you can be different from them, how you can get maybe their customers one day, yeah. And how you can implement all these trends and technologies to your brand development, because yeah, you need to be up to date, and technology, you need to use them. You can just sell online, for instance, like Chinese great yeah, like Alibaba or Shein. They make so big money just selling online and no ads and so on. Media business consulting that I do is more about how to make a media business and to develop it in every country. And it's, yeah, that's branding, also personal and corporate. I worked with companies, how to create their brand image, and also personal. When you represent your brand, it's also you're a face also. So it's good when you correspond and you understand, okay, I'm the designer, or I'm CEO, or I'm the owner of this brand, and I'm passionate about it. And when people see you, they associate you directly with this brand. So I guess it's everything.
Yeah. So we
Too
maybe
much
take some
information.
questions if you have
Yeah,
some.
I'm ready. I like questions. Yeah.
Julia, you have one big question, right?
Yeah, since I work in kids wear as a brand that has no adult part of the collection, what could be a good point in building the brand? Because many premium luxury brands step into mini me now. How to differentiate is the pool of really good designer fashion? Do I push the sustainability part? Because these where most luxury brands are not that far yet. I have a feeling that kids wear market in 3 years behind women's wear. Okay, got it. I just worked with kids wear brand and my very good partner. She's the owner of the brand that was a monopoly of kids wear brand in Ukraine, and she produced for another brand. So this, and I know the peculiarities also this market, and you are right, there are mostly no trends. They're a little bit behind. So it's very good market. If you work, I don't know which country are you? Which country are you based? Julia? Germany. Ah, okay. Very good market. I wanted to make to bring and to make a kids wear brand there. Actually, it's a big market for kids wear. And yes, in Germany, every market has its peculiarities. In Germany, it's a very good point about sustainability, about quality, about price. They buy a lot. German market is one of the biggest market that consume all the clothes. I can't say fashion, but clothes. Yeah, you don't need to be that trendy, but you have a great potential on there. Yeah, sustainability, quality, that you use very some ecological or certified materials that will, whatever, I don't know, help your kids' skin to something, you know. You have to create this story that is, I don't know, help him feel himself better, or breathe better, or something like that. It's mostly about quality if you talk about Germany. Yeah, and of course in the strategy, yeah, if you can I don't know, where in Germany are you, or are you like what's your north, but do you work with big cities or wholesale?
I'm just gonna go. Yeah, I also do wholesale in Italy, Belgium, US,
Okay.
and Middle East. That's what I do. But I want to build more in the DACH region. So I really want to build my brand more locally here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't need to show off a lot, but it's also a good strategy. Yeah, you know, German market, they are a little bit, yeah, just not that showing off. You don't need to, you have to be very like neutral, let's say, but you can also work with kids kids of famous people, let's say, because it could be a very good strategy, yeah, in communication with them. Because I noticed that, and it's really like that. Maybe people don't show, but they follow. Yeah, and they are still they still read press, and you have printed media, yeah, and you have gala, and you have weekly or monthly even newspapers that everyone reads. So if you tell you that if you work with famous kids of some famous people, and they will be published, so you can build a communication strategy around that, yeah, and you can bring a little bit upscale your brand, yeah, and a little bit buzz about it. Not that you don't need to show that, okay, this is advertisement. Yeah, it can also work, some advertisement, maybe online, maybe in printed media, but they really see about about the well-known people they follow. Maybe you can, in some, for media or on TV, some programs when kids participate, and you can put your clothes on them. So you build the whole like presence in all media, because kids watch TV, yeah, their parents watch, or they go to any social events, horse riding or golf for kids, or where they go, yeah, and just very, very pointed, but you need to show your brand more for people, something like that. Welcome. Questions?
Yeah, you have another question in chat
Mm.
from Natalia, and there is Jimena who wants to ask afterwards.
Wait.
It might be easier for me to ask you in person.
Well, my question is already written.
Sorry, Jimena, I will just take Natalia first and then you.
Okay.
So
Okay,
Natalia, her question is, thank you for great presentation. Question, what is the best way to introduce handmade jewelry made by me with antique ribbons and beads into my brand and to give it visibility, please? I want it to be very bespoke and unique pieces. It's taking ribbons from my brand.
So basically, I have two brands, My Biedu, which is made with antique ribbons, and then I have Natalia Wilmot, which is the brand I'm working with at the moment, which has a lot of antiques, vintage pieces, and jewelry. And I want to create some jewelry. I've been doing it on the side, but I haven't introduced it yet in the brand. So I don't know if I should introduce it into the brand which I'm working on at the moment, the Natalia Wilmot. And I want to see if it's going to be successful, because I don't really know. So I was just thinking, what's the best way to kind of introduce it and to know that it's going to be good, to then maybe that will become the brand in the end. My brand will transform into that. But at the moment, I don't know. I just want to test the market. Do I give it to... I know I've tested the market before with my other brand, My Biedu, like sending it to influencers, to things like that, and I've never been successful. It hasn't worked out. So I just want to know what to do. What would be the best place to do visibility? Do I just put it online and see what happens? Or
we need to understand what's the actually to see a piece and understand what is that about, because it's just very general, bespoke and unique pieces, but what's the style? You know, what's the audience, for whom is that? You just need to have the personality that I talked about, like who's your brand personality, who's that image or face. You can imagine that for the brand. Maybe it didn't work out because you didn't understand all the small things, you know, that they work all together. There are a lot of bespoke, unique pieces, you know, how many brands, they appear every day, but you need to figure out something that's very unique, that's and connected to the story. Why people, if it's I believe it has to cost money, yeah, because if it's a unique, bespoke and unique, and people need to understand what they have to pay for, what it brings to them. Yeah, maybe I don't know, like you can create a story behind that. It was inspired, I'm just imagining, but yeah, you studied some chronicles of Queen blah blah blah, and you was inspired by her lifestyle, you know, I'm just imagining, but it's something that will bring this story and uniqueness, and then you tell this story to your clients, and yeah, and then you see their feedback. Okay, what do they need? Yeah, because if you are in UK, you need to also to use it, yeah, where your brand is established, where it's founded. Okay, if it's UK, we do understand it's all about aristocracy, yeah, a little bit maybe connection to the royal family, and it depends which market is your market, where you want to go. If you want to work with domestic market, it's one strategy. Yeah, if you want to go, maybe they don't like this, they say, oh, it's boring. Yeah, it's the same story. But if you go outside and you bring this message here and you put inside of your brand these core values, then they say, oh wow, I don't know, it was inspired. Actually, just maybe it will give you some hint. 2 days ago was just a friend, my friend's birthday, and I didn't know what to present to her. And I just passed some in France here, some shop. I don't understand. It's very inspired by Chanel, but of course it's not Chanel pieces, yeah. But it's super creative in a Chanel way, you know, with this camellia, with some Karl Lagerfeld, black and white. It was just inspired by that. And I bought her the ring, and it's really, it looks like vintage ring, inspired by Chanel. So it's literally nothing, but they created a story about that. So they don't have any copyrights, but they have the story. Yeah, it was inspired by designs of, let's say, Coco Chanel. Yeah, something like that, or that gives value to the brand, and then you can argument by this means the price also, the price and the story.
Do I integrate it in, which brand do I integrate it in? The one that's the problem, is, so basically my Biedou, it's a brand which is completely, nobody makes it. It's cushions made with antique ribbons, and they have a secret pocket, and it comes with a notebook and pen. So the idea is you give it to a loved one and you can exchange messages. It's like the 18th century used to pass these messages in secret, you know, it was all about that. But I never managed to get that brand going. So I have a huge collection of ribbons, like, I don't know, 15,000 or something. And so I've started creating jewelry, like huge pieces. So I see them like on catwalks. I keep on having these dreams, and I kind of want to do it. And I'm thinking, oh, how do I do it? So do I integrate it into that brand, or I integrate it in the brand that I'm working on now, that I have, that has visibility?
I mean, I can't tell you 100% now, but I think if you have the complete idea, it's better to have something separately, or like a line or a separate brand. As I mentioned here, it was just an idea, but very clear one.
Yeah.
So if you want to be known and you have the strong idea and already the story, it's interesting, the story behind that, yeah, you can create a great storytelling around. So you don't need to mix it with any, just make it, see how it works, and maybe it's a good, you know, to start from this small, but just concentrate on one thing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Anna, you
Yes.
have another question from Jimena, and then Louise from Canada. Jimena, she is in Colombia. Louise from Canada. And I think it will be last questions because we're really out of time. We're running out of time.
Hi, Anna. Hi, everybody. I'm Jimena from Villamizar brand. Nice to meet you. And thank you, Anna, for your intervention. My question, about 2 questions, very simple, but important for me, is first one, how to persuade the stars to collaborate with your newborn brand, with my newborn brand, the first one. I write it for you.
How to collaborate? You can work via agencies. There are agencies that PR agencies that are specified. It also I will repeat that, but it's how it works. You need to understand your market, where you want to go. If it's US, if it's Europe, if it's Asia or whatever. Yeah, when you understand the market, the best way is to find agencies that work with celebrities. They work with brands and celebrities, so they take you as a brand and they put your brand on celebrities.
Okay. And there's a source, any source, specifically source of PR's agencies?
Yeah.
Like a net, or
yeah.
Which ones? And
where? It's so much information. I can't I can't tell. I mean, if you a jewelry brand is one thing, you know, there are so many different, there are so good and so not good ones and so on. I mean, if you want to get more information, for instance, like later on, you can ask via Inga, or you can contact me and we can make a small consultation with you, so I can deep more, you know, precisely tell you. What
I'm
can
bag and accessories. My core product is bag and accessories.
yeah.
From, yes, with ADM, Franco-Colombian, like Cosmopolitan line, and another side, a Colombian ADM with the fabrics, very handicraft, like Guatemala, Latin American fabrics. But the most hard for me is the PR and press and all this get visibility. So I try to economize my time looking for the source, like the directory, like where can I find them outside the social events, because I'm not very social in this moment. I participate in the Who's Next 2020, but that was all because they're expensive. And after that, the pandemic falls me down, and I'm just getting outside again, like go ahead. But I really need help over that.
Yeah. It's PR agencies, as a special PR agencies, that if you like your brand, if they like your brand, they can start working with you, and they do this job. So they put your brand in media, in celebrities, in some events. Yeah, they put on celebrities, so they wear and they give you reports. So it's media, so they can cover this part for you, and they can be your partner. But it also depends which countries. If you want to work in US, one thing. If you want to work in Europe, it's really less. It's more like you work via influencers here, So it's a little bit different structures. That's why I'm talking about your target market. And of course, they need to understand what's your brand, what's your brand about, what's the level, what's the price point, and so on.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So I know that there is a side web who drives you to the influencers, your directory, directoire, like a list. Where you can easy.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, that's what I mentioned. It's I'm really interested all the time in the results. You can do a lot of chaotic things, but maybe you need to have a marketing and just PR manager who will take care, who knows the press, who knows the influencers, who can, who will just help you in that. But that will be one person who will lead the whole communication of your brand.
Yeah, yes, of course. But for instance, I can delegate it. That I have all the casket. I have, of course, it's projected to work team working with that another person specified for that. But for instance, I try to manage the whole for myself, because otherwise I can't financially, I cannot engage another person for that, just for that. So that's why I try to, like a newborn brand. That's why, that's my challenge.
Yeah, I understand, but it's also maybe you do this on this point, or maybe you have to wait and do more sales, and then after you will concentrate on market and PR. But you need this person, or when you make sales, maybe you can engage investor in your business, and then you can have in your plan a budget for marketing and PR, and then but now. Otherwise, you need to be friends with all these people who will give you a favor, who will make you a favor and wear your brand, and they can, after all, you will have this coverage, maybe on their social media, or maybe your friends are influencers or something like that. You need to be either friends or you need to pay them.
Yeah. They are looking by themselves, they're looking the newborn brands through their social net, like to discover new brands, new people. I think that they come to us also. No?
Normally, no. I don't know,
But
like in which
by the
country.
hashtags, I know, but I don't know, by the hashtags, I was anyway, I don't
We
have
will
my
be switching, Jimena, sorry, we are really out of time. We have like 2 minutes. We need to close the session, and we have Louise who's waiting for the answer. If you're okay with this.
Yeah, I have a
Louise,
question.
yeah, sorry, Anna, can you read the question? So
Yes. Luis, I have a question regarding my main target audience, women fans of Formula One. I'm looking to reach them across various countries. The host cool. Could you please advise me on the best social forum to connect with this audience? My brand's name based in Montreal. Social platforms to connect with the audience. Oh, it's influencers most of all. Yeah, it's Instagram, I would say. Yeah, maybe TikTok. But I would better if you are very specific. You're a very specific one in what you're doing. So maybe you can talk with Formula One directly in a way, yeah, and represent your brand, and maybe they have better ideas because who are like women fans of Formula One. I'm also a fan of Formula One. I have never been there, but I like races, for instance, yeah. Am I your target audience? How you can reach out to me? You know, it's who are these people? It's very wide audience, to be honest. Like if you imagine who go to Formula One, who is this people?
Yes. And my question, because we're lacking of time, my question also meant, you mentioned at one point, you said like once you know your audience, you have to find out where do they go, which platform, social media platform do they use. So my question also was, how do we know which platform they use?
Yes.
Okay, you understand. Oh, for instance, like who are your women fans? What's their lifestyle? Tell me.
Their lifestyle is they're pretty at ease. They've found out about the races by themselves or through their spouse, but they actually really like to be involved. They like also to show that they're supporting their teams, but they don't need to always wear the fan wears that are cut for men. So they like to attend or like to show their support. They have they have like free time to travel as well, or they will also be like you, watch it over the TV, that they've discovered it through the Netflix series.
Okay, but are they the owners of the cars or their wives of?
No, they're the general public that they go, and then they've been looking for Formula One dresses, but they found cheap materials. So mine is like high quality, reversible. They could wear it after the races. I have different concept as well of checkered. You could add a little color of lace so that then they show the support, or have the black and white. So it's
it's very wide what you're talking. It's very wide audience. If you see which people, it's like talking who are the football fans. Yeah, it's the same. It's so different people. Some of them and their different lifestyle, and different approach to them. Some are wives of or family of race drivers. Some are wives of racers, fans who like or who own. And it's also, different lifestyle and different way to approach. If they have these cars, if they own these cars, yeah, let's say some not race cars, but speed ones or luxury ones, or mostly, yeah. This is also we understand their how much money do they have. You are not targeted on just fans who sit on far away tribune over there. You want this one, so you need to understand their lifestyle, what they do, which media do they use, are they really on social media? Because my understanding, and just the first hint is better to understand who are in the clubs, If there are any clubs, Formula One, yeah, how do they reach to their audience? It's not like they are selling tickets and that's it. No, they communicate somehow with their audience by means of the cars, the branding, and so on. And everyone goes to Monaco, for like Formula One, on Miami Formula One. It's community. It's already, the people know each other. So it's better you have a unique brand. Maybe it's better when you reach out to them directly, to the Formula One, the people who organize that, and just ask them, or you can represent to them your brand and said, listen, I have this one. Maybe they are interested in your business or selling your brand, and have some additional money or something like that. It would be easier because this is very it's not general public. It's not general, and I'm not sure they are on social media, all of them. I'm not sure. Even if you target wives, not guys. It's very specific. Some, of course, you can reach out. There are media specific, like printed or online media, that are specialized on this. They are talking about cars. They are test drives or new models and so on. And maybe you can reach out for some journalists who write about that. And he can be interested in talking about your brand. So this is visibility. This will be your visibility.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you, Inga, for Marian.
So if you're interested in what Anna is doing, because she tried to expose you a little bit the way she's thinking, the way she's working with brands, you can request for another session, maybe with Anna, maybe more precise, where we can go more into details of some of your brands, because yes, it was like quite rich session because she needed to present, and then I couldn't take all your questions, unfortunately, and I think you all have more questions than that. And Anna can really bring this expertise that maybe we don't have in the program, because we are talking mostly about direct marketing. And Anna is an expert of brand building, which is a long-term strategy, which what she was telling to Jimena, you basically need to start selling first, and then at some point you need to invest into your brand strategy to build the brand on the long term. Then one day you can sell it and be free, a free person, right? So if you really want to work with Anna, or you want to have another session with Anna, please let me know in the comments, the post that we ask you to come. Let me know, what do you think about this session? What do you want afterwards? We can organize something else, or you can just reach out to Anna and ask her for help, right?
Yeah, you have my contacts in the presentation. I'm sure, Inga will share it
yes,
with you after. I will be happy, because I'm really passionate about and helping brands to reach their goals and to have fun on the way.
Yeah, we have some comments very quickly, just to have them before we close the session. Thanks you, Anna, for information. I'm interested. Big thanks, Louise. Thank you. A lot to think about. Linda and Ivan, great session, extremely valuable and helpful information. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone, for your presence, and we will keep in touch for next sessions. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Have a nice
Bye.